Welcome back to the Warpath. Today we're going to move on from work ethic and we're going to jump into something I thought was going to take just a little bit. I was just going to skim the surface, and the more I thought about it and started taking some notes, I realized that's not the case. Today we're going to be talking about attitude, and that is a core character trait. And of course, everybody wants you to have a positive attitude, to be upbeat, to be excited and happy, exuberant, joyful, positive all the time. That's what everyone expects. And ultimately, that's what we all want. Uh, Problem is, things come up, things happen. So, my overall message today is it's okay to have negative feelings as long as you have a good attitude. And yes, you can have a good attitude. You can have a great attitude and still have negative emotions and what are considered negative feelings. But remember, feelings are neutral. Emotions are things that are real, they happen to us, and feelings happen when your emotions bubble to the surface. It's going to come out. Doesn't mean your attitude's bad, but we need to always remember to focus on what's deep inside of us, to stay positive and to get us through some of those challenging situations. So, what are some of the things we're going to look at here? First, feelings are a surface reaction to an emotional state. Okay, you see a dog wagging a tail, you smile. Okay, that. The emotion just makes you happy. Feelings, they're on the surface, but your attitude is always subsurface, and it's always going to control how you deal with your feelings. So you've got to keep your brain involved. You've got to embrace the conflict that your feelings may bring out. Remember, conflict is a catalyst for change. And change is good, change is necessary, change is inevitable, so you just will embrace it no matter what you think of it. So your attitude needs to adjust and recalibrate your feelings. Okay? Your attitude is in charge. Recalibrate your feelings based on what's deep down inside of you. Don't let your feelings or emotions adjust your attitude. Let your attitude adjust your feelings and emotions. It's probably the most important part of this whole little lesson today. Let your attitude adjust your feelings and emotions, not the other way around. There's actually a scientific name for this. It's called neuroplasticity, and your brain literally rewires itself. It learns how to engage based on repeated behavior. So yes, you can rewire your brain, and this is the lesson to get you started down that path. First, I'm going to talk about the cognitive input to your emotions and feelings, and different triggers that will come into play with that. And again, I started off being excited and exuberant and happy, and that's what your boss wants, that's what your wife wants, that's what your family wants. Everyone comes home, and it's just the perfect little environment. It's the Stepford thing, or the Leave It to Beaver thing, or the Brady Bunch. Everything's always happy and going to work out. Well, life's not like that. People are going to be slighted. You're going to be wronged. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to not be appreciated. You're going to be overlooked, passed over for promotions. Nepotism's going to come into play. Unfairness can abound. You're going to be misunderstood, misquoted, misrepresented, lied about, cheated on, wrongfully accused. You may feel ashamed, embarrassed, even by things that aren't true. You're still going to be affected by those feelings. So your attitude is the only thing that you really have to rely on. You're not going to be able to rely on other people building you up all the time and saying it's going to be okay. You're not going to get a cry room all the time, especially out in the real world. You're not going to be able to get time off until you recover from a wrong that's happened. You need to get this in your core and just understand you're going to get over it based on your attitude. So just reason in yourself, you're going to be positive. So today we're going to talk about quickly the stages of grief. I recently, just this last week, experienced a death in our family, and it reminds me of all the other deaths I've experienced, and whether it's from a pet or a loved one, a family member, or an acquaintance, you still go through all the stages of grief, or shock and denial, pain and guilt, coulda, shoulda, woulda done, anger, bargaining. You want to blame people right away. And then you kind of fall into this, the reality sets in. It's depression, reflection, loneliness. And then you go through a reconstruction where you go through a healing stage and then acceptance and finally hope. And how long you stay in any one of those spaces, any one of those emotional states, is going to be determined by your circumstances and your attitude. So I'm just telling you, focus on what's inside. You can be a positive person and still be lonely. You can be a positive person, a positive attitude person, and still be angry. You can go to work and you can be ticked off and literally pissed at things that are going on at work, policies, processes, personalities. It doesn't matter. You can still have a good attitude and be ticked off. So I'm giving you permission to embrace your feelings, because your feelings are going to get change going. But just don't let your feelings rule you. Remind yourself constantly that your attitude rules and reigns over your emotions. Don't let your emotions rule and reign over your attitude. But it's okay to have feelings, negative feelings. Just use them for positive change in yourself and a positive outcome. Kind of it on the surface. There's a lot here. Start rewiring your brain. Neuroplasticity. Rewire your brain. Tap into your positive attitude. And believe me, everyone in their core has a positive attitude. If your heart's beating, you're sucking air, and you're able to take care of yourself in any fashion whatsoever, you've got a good attitude. Tap in. That's the message for the day. We'll see you at the top.